Let me jump into frame here. All right, hey, good morning, everybody. It's day eight, August 12th. It's a Monday. We're leaving Laird Hot Springs Lodge this morning. You saw some of the stuff I did last night when the fire smoke was here. It seems to have cleared up really well. What I'm experiencing here at this point is more different types of bugs, more mosquitoes. Start using your mosquito repellent or your DEET, at least by the time you get here to the hot springs. Not necessarily at the hot springs itself, but in this vicinity heading north. It's also getting a bit cooler, which I thought was ironic, I guess. But why I say that is I thought in the cooler weather I wouldn't have to be dealing with the mosquitoes. But when I was loading up the beast this morning, they started coming at me. So I immediately put on, I got two different types of mosquito repellents. One has heavy DEET in it that I just use for anywhere like, my neck and below, and my arms. My arms. The other one is a botanical, natural one that I put on my face and head and stuff to keep the DEET away from my eyes and lips. So today, our final destination, I think that's called Johnson Crossing, and it's a campsite, but we're in flux a little bit. We had a really short day, but it was a good day. It was a really good day. It was a good ride day. It was a good viewing day. It was a good lack of having to do maintenance day. This lodge has excellent food, and the beds were so comfortable. I think it was balanced out about $123 American. It's like $170 Canadian, and it's an odd stop because it's not quite in between two huge destinations. So you might have a shorter day than usual if you stop here, but it's well worth the stop even if you're just going to eat here. I mean, the food was just spectacular. The beds were just so comfortable. So it was nice to stay here last night. We are going to head out of British Columbia, BC area. We'll end up in Yukon Territory today. Right at the entrance of the Yukon Territory, there's a place called Contact Creek. And I can give you more history on that when we're up there. Is basically when the two U.S. Army battalions, starting from the north, starting from the south, had met, kind of like the Trans-American Railway when they were building the rail line, and in Provo, Utah. I forgot the hill now in Utah, but where the two train tracks meet in Utah. Promontory Point, I think that's what it is, where the two train tracks meet in Utah, and they had a big celebration. East-west meeting. So north-south meeting during the construction of the Alcan. People are calling it the Yukon Highway. So I've heard that now. Yukon Highway, Alaska Highway, Alcan Highway, Alaska Canadian Highway. The most common phrase is actually the Alaska Highway in today's lexicon. But that's where we want to get gas. So we have enough in our tank now to leave here. We're going to gas up at Contact Creek. Right after that, we're going to jump about another 70 miles into Watson Lake. We're going to go to the Signpost Forest. I'll talk more about that when I get there, because the Signpost Forest, I have two signs I'm going to put up. I don't want to show you them yet, but Signpost Forest was originated by an Army private, I want to say, in 1942 when they were building it. And he was injured or something. I should probably give you better history on that also. What ended up happening is that he was tasked to put a signpost up of different cities to the north and south and the distance to get there. So in relationship to that, he did what he was ordered to do, but then in addition to that, he put a sign of his hometown with the direction heading and the mileage. And there's another thing flying around trying to attack me. So he put his own city in his own state, and that became a what am I thinking of? That became a novelty, so to speak, for other military guys to put their hometown and the distance to get there. Now the two signs I have is really cool. I have one that says Riverside, looks like an official Riverside sign. It's about the dimension, thin license plate, like the European license plates, thin like that. Then I have another one of the Jackrabbit Trading Post, which is actually in Arizona off of Route 66. And the Jackrabbit Trading Post is well known for putting on Highway 40 or Route 66 signs miles and miles away from it, either east or westbound, no matter which direction you're heading. So it says things like almost there, Jackrabbit Trading Post, and whatever your mile is, it'll give you a countdown to the miles until you're there. When I did Route 66 in 2018, I actually had them made me a big wooden one that I did a video on. It's in my garage. Sometimes when I'm doing the maintenance on the motorcycle, you'll see the sign in the background. It's hanging. It's a pretty sizable sign. It's like 2 feet by 3 feet or 2 feet by 4. No, it's not 4 feet, but it's a sizable wooden sign. They were able to make me another small thin one. So when I get to the Signpost Forest today, I'll be putting up a Jackrabbit Trading Post sign, and they put the mileage on it. So it says Jackrabbit. It says the Jackrabbit Trading Post, like the signs you have on the highway, but the mileage is from the Signpost Forest to their location in Arizona. So I think it's heading. We'll probably head out of here about 8 o'clock. I think it's almost getting on to 7 now. McGregor is getting ready, prepped, ready to go. And once we leave here, our next stop is Contact Creek. And we might eat there. So if we eat there, I'll give you a little bit more history on what that area is all about. Everything is going really, really good. Just looking forward to every day I wake up now that we've started the Elcon. I think, man, today's going to be better than the last. And one thing I was going to say, if I haven't mentioned it already, there is like 0 cell. Once you leave Fort Nelson, up to this point, 0 cell. I don't care who your carrier is. You're not going to have any kind of cell service in this area. I'm fortunate that this lodge has Wi-Fi. That's how I'm able to connect and shoot stuff up to YouTube. So that's another thing I was going to mention. Watch your gas mileage. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, I did a video prepping to come out here, which was good. I got maps and I got books. Highly recommend that once you get into Dawson Creek, go to the visitor center and get the free maps. They have the free maps and the little handout. They have the tent camping sites down to a degree. They have the tent camping sites. They have the fuel points. It's very detailed, and they have one that's just, they call it the Yukon map, and it's just the Dalton, not the Dalton. It's just the Alcan. It's just the Alaska Highway, and it starts at Dawson Creek, and it's just a full inclusive map, and it has a lot of detail, and it's free. So if in fact you're doing it, yeah, if you're in AAA, go ahead and get those maps. You can mark them and highlight them and pre-plan, which I'm glad I did, because now I have the miles in my head and don't have to depend on any kind of electronics. That comes from my old scout days when I was an Army Scout. What was I going to say? But yeah, get the free maps. Go to a visitor center. Don't bypass them. Even if you're not a museum enthusiast, go to a visitor center. Get the free maps, because you are not going to have a lot of electronic navigational aids from Fort Nelson, probably for quite a while, maybe even into Whitehorse, which is up in Yukon Territory. Ask any questions you folks might have. I'm picking up some new subscribers. Thanks for following me along. I think I just met Allison here in the parking lot. She's heading up. Allison from Hollister I just spoke to, and she's heading up to Watson Lake now, or Lake Watson Lake. So she'll probably be there and gone by the time I get there. It is ironic though, we are running into a lot of repetitive travelers as we stop. We're like leapfrogging each other, so that's kind of interesting to see common travelers. She saw me down at Dawson Creek when I was doing that video that you guys might have seen with the mom and her 2 sons, and one son was from Rancho Cucamonga, near my vicinity in Riverside, California. She goes, "Oh, I remember you. You were doing a video of the mom traveling with her 2 sons." I go, yeah. So we're leapfrogging with her too. So anyways, this has been an unbelievable trip. It's surreal in a way, you know, when you go to these places that I've only seen in brochures or online or from other YouTubers, and I'm there and I'm doing it. I'm thinking, wow, this is really happening. So happy we got some of the worst behind us when it comes to the maintenance issue with the KLR. So thanks for following along. I'm going to try to shoot this one up to YouTube right now before we head on the road, because after that, I don't think you guys will hear from me for a while. All right, I think we're clear with the fires. Take care. I'm going to jump on the other side of this and shut it down. Oy. All right. Oh, here's Greg's Africa twin. He's still, the Africa twin's still sleeping, but I'm loaded and ready to go.